The Ant and the Dove. One hot day, an ant was searching for some water. After walking around for some time, she came to a spring. To reach the spring, she had to climb up a blade of grass. While making her way up, she slipped and fell into the water. She could have drowned if a dove up a nearby tree had not seen her. Seeing that the ant was in trouble, the dove quickly plucked a leaf and dropped it into the water near the struggling ant. The ant moved towards the leaf and climbed up onto it. Soon, the leaf drifted to dry ground, and the ant jumped out. She was safe at last. Just at that time, a hunter nearby was about to throw his net over the dove, hoping to trap it. Guessing what he was about to do, the ant quickly bit him on the heel. Feeling the pain, the hunter dropped his net. The dove was quick to fly away to safety. One good turn begets another. The Apple Tree and the Farmer. Once upon a time, there lived a farmer in a village, beside a forest. He had a big garden that had an old apple tree and other plants, trees and beautiful flowers. When the farmer was a little boy, he spent much of his time playing with the apple tree. Those days, the apple tree had given the choicest of apples to him. However, as time passed, the apple tree became old and stopped bearing fruits. Now that the farmer was not getting any apples from the tree, he decided that the tree was useless. Therefore, he decided to cut the tree and use its wood to make some new furniture. He felt that since the tree was old and huge, he did not have to cure it, and it would make great furniture. He forgot that as a boy, he had spent his entire childhood climbing the tree and eating its apples. Now the apple tree was home to several little animals in the neighborhood. This included squirrels, sparrows and a huge variety of birds and insects. When the farmer took his axe and began chopping the tree, all the little animals came rushing down. They all began to plead with the farmer. They gathered round the farmer and said, "Please don't cut the tree. We used to play with you when you were small, under this very tree. This is our home and we have no other place to go." The farmer was adamant. He raised his axe and the commotion grew. "Please don't chop and destroy my home, kids," cried the squirrel. "Please don't chop and destroy my nest," cried the little birds. "Please don't cut the apple tree," cried the grasshopper. The farmer, however, forgot his childhood and his animal friends. He began to chop the tree harder. All the little animals became desperate, and wanted to protect the apple tree at any cost. The little animals said, "We will sing for you when you are toiling away in the fields. We will look after your little boy. He will not cry, but instead will be entertained and happy. You will like our songs and will not feel tired." However, their cries for help fell on deaf ears. Despite all their requests, the farmer continued to chop down the tree. All of a sudden, he noticed something shiny. On inspecting it, he realized that it was a beehive, full of honey. He took a little and put it in his mouth. The taste of the honey woke up the little boy in him. Suddenly, the memories of his childhood came rushing back. The honey tasted so good that he wanted more. It brought a sense of happiness to him. He smiled and exclaimed, "This tastes amazing." Realizing the change in the farmer's attitude, the little animals spoke in unison. The bee said, "I will always provide you with sweet honey." The squirrel said, I will share any amount of nuts that you want." The birds cried, "We will sing as many songs as you want." Finally, the farmer realized his folly, and put down his axe. He understood that the tree was home to many lovely animals that provided him with so many things. He wanted his little boy to have the childhood that he had. The farmer realized that the apple tree was not that fruitless. The little boy in him saved the apple tree. He threw away the axe and said to the little creatures, "I promised that I would never cut this tree. I have realized my mistake, and you all can now live in peace and harmony." The little creatures thanked the bee profusely. If the farmer had not found the beehive, they would have been homeless by now. They continued living happily in the old apple tree. Moral: each and every living thing in nature is of some use. We should not destroy any living thing. Money can't buy everything. Nick was a 10-year-old boy. He was the only son to his parents. Nick's father was a very busy businessman who could not spend time with his son. He came home after Nick slept, and was off to office before Nick woke up in the morning. Nick yearned for his father's attention. He wanted to go outdoors and play with his father just like his friends did. One day, Nick was surprised to see his father at home in the evening. "Dad, it is a big surprise to see you at home," Nick said. "Yes, son, my meeting was cancelled. So I'm at home. But after 2 hours I have to catch a flight," his father replied. "When will you be back?" "Tomorrow noon." Nick was in deep thought for a while. Then he asked, "Dad, how much do you earn in a year?" Nick's father was taken aback. He said, "My dear son, it's a very big amount and you won't be able to understand it." "Okay, Dad, are you happy with the amount you earn?" "Yes, my dear. I'm very happy, and in fact I'm planning to launch our new branch and a new business in a few months. Isn't that great?" "Yes, Dad. I'm happy to hear that. Can I ask you one more question?" "Yes, dear." "Dad, can you tell me how much you earn in a day or even half a day?" "Nick, why are you asking this question?" Nick's father was perplexed. But Nick was persistent. "Please answer me. Can you please tell me how much you earn in an hour?" Nick's father gave in and replied, "It will be around $25 per hour." Nick ran to his room upstairs, and came down with his piggy bank that contained his savings. "Dad, I have $50 in my piggy bank. Can you spare 2 hours for me? I want to go to the beach and have dinner with you tomorrow evening. Can you please mark this in your schedule?" Nick's father was speechless. The greatest gift a parent can give his child is time. Money can't buy everything. The Milkmaid and her Pail. Patty the milkmaid was going to the market carrying milk in a pail on her head. As she went along, she began calculating what she would do with the money she would get for the milk. "I'll buy some fowls from Farmer Brown," said she, "and they will lay eggs each morning, which I will sell to the parson's wife. With the money that I get from the sale of these eggs, I'll buy myself a new dimity frock and a chip hat, and when I go to the market, won't all the young men come up and speak to me? Polly sure will be so jealous, but I don't care. I shall just look at her and toss my head like this." Short stories. As she spoke that, she tossed her head back and the pail fell off it, and all the milk was spilt. Moral: do not count your chickens before they are hatched. The Cunning Fox and the Clever Stork. Once upon a time, there lived a very cunning and mischievous fox. He used to speak to other animals sweetly and gain their trust, before playing tricks on them. One day the fox met a stork. He befriended the stork and acted like a very good friend. Soon, he invited the stork to have a feast with him. The stork happily accepted the invitation. The day of the feast came, and the stork went to the fox's house. To her surprise and disappointment, the fox said that he could not make a big feast as promised, and just offered some soup. When he brought the soup out of the kitchen, the stork saw that it was in a shallow bowl. The poor stork could not have any soup with its long bill, but the fox easily licked the soup from the plate. As the stork just touched the soup with the tip of its bill, the fox asked her, "How is the soup? Don't you like it?" The hungry stork replied, "Oh, it is good, but my stomach is upset, and I can't take any more soup." "I'm sorry for troubling you," said the fox. The stork replied, "Oh dear, please don't say sorry. I have some health problem and cannot enjoy what you offer." She left the place after thanking the fox, and inviting him to her house for dinner. Cunning Fox and the Clever Stork story. The day arrived and the fox reached the stork's place. After exchanging pleasantries, the stork served soup for both of them, in a narrow jar with a long neck. She was able to have the soup very easily with her long bill, but the fox obviously could not. After finishing hers, the stork asked the fox if he was enjoying the soup. The fox remembered the feast he himself had given the stork, and felt very ashamed. He stammered, I better leave now. I have a tummy ache." Humiliated, he left the place running. Moral: one bad turn begets another.